This is the Ollie Body Varial, also called the Ollie Sex Change. The Ollie Body Varial is exactly what it sounds like. You do an ollie, and as your board stays straight, your body does a frontside 180 and you land back on the board. If you have your ollies down pretty well, this trick is actually a pretty easy little modifier to put on top of it. And it can be a cool way to switch your stance real quick while riding. The tricks you should know before learning this one are an ollie, and it doesn't actually matter if you can pop your ollies really high and level them out, because this trick works just as well even if you have rocket ollies. Just be able to get at least a few inches off the ground. Next, to get used to the frontside body rotation, you could learn frontside 180s, though honestly I think that's not really how this trick feels, and you'd be better off just being really comfortable doing frontside sex changes. So basically, just make sure you're really comfortable with ollies and frontside body varials. So the main parts to this trick are popping the tail and sliding your foot up the nose just like you would for an ollie. Your front foot slides up to the nose, and as it starts to push forward, you turn your body frontside and you land. Foot positioning for this trick is really easy because it's basically just like an ollie. I think that this trick is a little easier to do when your front foot is further up the board, more towards the bolts, especially because at first you're not really going for height on this trick. What you want right now is stability, and having your foot a little further up the board is going to help you have that strong foundation. Also, I'd like to emphasize you should really definitely have your ollies before learning this trick, so you can go watch my how to ollie video and then my how to ollie better and higher video before learning this one. Those should help you with the fundamentals of how to get the basis of this trick down. So let's get into a few of the aspects of how to do the Ollie Body Varial. There's really not much more than taking an ollie, and it can be rocketed like I said, and adding that body varial to it. This is another trick tip where it's more about what not to do than what you should do. And the first thing that you shouldn't do is flick your foot past the nose. You don't want to slide your foot up and act like you're going to do a kickflip or an ollie north or anything weird like that, because that's just going to cause the board to flip over. As your foot slides up the nose to do the ollie, and you start to turn your body front side, your foot may naturally want to come off the side of the board. This will naturally cause the board to do a kickflip, and you end up doing a kickflip sex change, which is an entirely different trick. So for now, let's focus on that front foot. Broken down, what you're going to want to do is push the tail down like you're doing an ollie. As your front foot slides up and it starts to hit the point where the nose starts to curve up on your board, you're actually going to want to stop pushing your front foot forward and kind of let it hang there for a second. At this point, you'd be in the air in this position, and then you would quickly switch your feet frontside. Letting your foot stay on the nose for just that split second, as opposed to having it come off the edge of the nose or off of the front even, is really going to keep the board stable and keep it from flipping over. You can see from this angle how my front foot slides up the nose, but then it stays in that little pocket, which keeps the board stationary as I then pull my front foot backwards and put my back foot where it was. So if you were only to have those parts down, you will end up with an Ollie Body Varial where the board is kind of rocketed. And the simple fix to get your board to level out is that when you get to the point where your foot is in that front pocket kind of hanging there, right before you turn your body, you do want to kind of give it the kick forward in order to level out and bring up the back. And from there, the rest of the trick is the same. You switch your feet and land back on the board. So to reiterate, make sure you have your ollies down, your frontside body varials down, and then start to try to put them together. Now, the other problem that's most likely to arise is that you can get the first part of the trick down, but after you turn your body and try to land back on the board, you're either too far to the tail, to the nose, or to one of the sides. The only way to really fix this is to make sure that you're well balanced and to try and counteract your leaning by going the opposite direction and centering yourself on the board. Another point to take note of is that with a frontside 180, you're going to need to swing your shoulders around, and it's kind of similar to do this Ollie Sex Change. The wind up and the unwind of your shoulders and arms isn't as dramatic as in a frontside 180, but you definitely need at least a little bit to get your body to turn frontside. Notice how on this one, as I pop the board is barely off the ground and I'm already turned completely 90 degrees with my shoulders opened up and my body ready to turn frontside. You basically want to be thinking about and starting your body's rotation as you're popping the board. because the quicker you rotate your feet, the easier it's going to be to land back on the board. So like always, I'm going to go through everything one more time. Get your ollies down really well first. Make sure you're really comfortable jumping and doing a frontside 180 sex change. Then when you start to pop this trick, make sure your foot isn't going up and off the side of the nose, which would cause it to flip over. Try and get it to slide up to just where the nose is curving and hang there for just a second. And then give that front foot the slightest push forward as you turn your body front side and put your back foot where your front foot was and your front foot where your back foot was. Make sure to unwind your shoulders as you rotate in order to get the full rotation. And finally, make sure that you're well balanced so that you're going to land on your bolts. And if you have all of those steps down, you put them together and you should have the Ollie Body Varial. So here are a few of my Ollie Body Varials. Take note of those key points, especially my front foot and what it does in order to keep the board where it is right before I turn my body. And watch as I start to turn frontside as I'm popping, and then once I'm in the air, I quickly rotate. So hopefully this trick tip helped you and you can add a new trick to your arsenal. As long as you have the foundation tricks, then you should be able to get this one relatively easy with enough practice. So just remember that practice is the key to perfecting anything, and with enough of it, you will land this trick. So thank you for watching, and you can like and subscribe if you want.